Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm so excited to have you here. We're going to dive right in. Today, I am trying to kind of isolate, which is pretty impossible, but I just want to specifically look at the energy of Mercury retrograde and the effect that that's having on some of your connections. Keep in mind, I'm doing masculine and feminine energy. You can look at this as you with you, your masculine side with your feminine side. You can look at this as a coworker, a family member. I want you to use your intuition to decipher who we're talking about and what the situation is and whether it resonates or whether it doesn't. All right. So with all that said, we're going to dive straight in today with your reading, trying to look at how Mercury retrograde is affecting a relationship here for you. For Pisces, please, Spirit, how is Mercury retrograde affecting their connection? For Pisces, what is the masculine energy for Pisces? Ooh, the masculine energy, chameleon spirit. All right, and the feminine spirit. Wow, we're getting be at home and reclaim your power. Okay. Porcupine spirit, time for a beginner's mind. This is the energy of the connection. Okay. All right. Well, my first impression is that I like this energy. I feel good about it, Pisces. I am noticing right away that you have 48, 14, 44. That's 4 4s, you do have 2 8s as well. So there is just this energy, Pisces, of a real heavy focus on the foundation at this time. So what I'm getting is with the time for beginner mind, this may be a brand new relationship where it's time to sort of wipe that slate clean, you with you, of, sort of holding present people responsible or kind of looking for in present people the things that have led to disappointment or suffering for you in the past. It's not to say, don't look at the red flags. Of course, I always want you to look at the red flags. If we listen to the red flags, then we avoid a lot of suffering. But sometimes we have this energy of having been disappointed so many times in the past that we're looking for the disappointment in another. And that comes from a space of fear, and they are really very different than each other. So there are ways of telling if it's your fear talking to you or your intuition talking to you. You can Google ego versus like what your intuition tells you versus what your ego tells you. And it's, the ego comes from a place of fear. Its positioning is to keep you safe. Your intuition never comes from a place of fear. It comes from a place of wisdom, your highest, your best, love and light kind of energy. So you can familiarize yourself with the way that it sounds, and then you can sort of start to begin to hear it in yourself. And if you still struggle to hear it in yourself, a good idea is to write it down. Because once you write it down, you can usually sort of circle it, identify it, highlight it, and be like, oh, okay, that's where this is coming from, or at least that's what I find. So I feel there is also the potential here that this is a past person coming back around that is really wanting a new start. And this porcupine spirit can be here to remind you that in order for you to really have a fresh start with someone, it can't just be, okay, you're coming back, so this is a new start. Because what happens is if we haven't really released what has already happened in the connection, and we don't completely close the door on that experience so that a new door can truly open for a new experience. We don't want to go backwards. We don't want to revisit the past. It didn't work. That's why we went into separation. That's why we need a second chance. So what we want to do is close the door on that entirely, kind of seal it shut. Yes, there's a foundation. Yes, there's a familiarity. But we have to try to get to know each other all over again. We have to try to figure out what kind of relationship we want all over again. And, work to build it from the bottom up, right? Because clearly there was probably a tower moment. So what was there has already sort of blown apart anyway. So it's important to really not, if we continue to hold the past person responsible for things that they did, what it's going to sound like in the relationship now is, well, how can I trust you that you're going out really with your friends? Well, remember last time you said you were going out with your friends and you were really meeting her. You know what I mean? Those kind of things. If you're going to get into a relationship and that's going to be the vibe and that's going to be the energy, then why do that to yourself? Why put yourself through that again? You know what I mean? So you have to really know what you're totally willing to, what you're capable of releasing and forgiving and moving on from, and what you're not, so it is kind of really a wiping the slate clean. And this may, require some kind of apology. This may require someone to take accountability for their behavior or their action. I'm certainly not saying just let someone off the hook or whatever. I'm saying get what you need. And if you don't get what you need, maybe reconsider allowing it to have a new beginning. Because why put yourself through an experience that you've already had to heal from? So when I look at this masculine energy here and it's saying act as if, I feel like this is someone who may not have really known who they were for a really long time. I think that there's just an energy around the masculine energy of sort of trying to please people, sort of trying to fit in, not really being like, this is who I am and da 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 da, you know what I mean? And honestly, this is a pretty common energy for masculines these days to be in. I feel like, there's a lot of, let me look around, let me be cool with everybody, let me, try to, fit in kind of energy. Or also, gender roles, I feel like, are very real in society. And, even as the son, it's like a lot can be expected of you. Maybe you're expected to take over your father's business, or the family business. Maybe you're expected to take care of your family because the father passed away or was absent. Maybe you're, there's a lot of, sometimes there's a lot of responsibility or a lot of duty that falls on a masculine's shoulders. I mean, also it can happen with feminines too. But just, I'm feeling it a lot with this energy of just like, I feel like this is someone who's just trying to sort of keep peace and sort of hold on to the branch they're on. And, I think this is someone that wants a partner. I think this is someone that, wants someone that's going to help ease the burden or even allow them, give them a space to sort of explore their own identity within a relationship. Allowing them to be who they are, being loved for who they actually are as a person, and releasing this feeling, at least temporarily, while they're with you or while they're with the feminine, that, I can just be myself and I don't have to put on any kind of face. I don't have to put on any kind of mask. I don't have to show up. I don't have to be responsible. I don't have to, carry the weight on my shoulders and say a lot of, I know, or heck yeah, let's do something I don't want to do kind of energy. It's like, no, I can just be myself. And if I don't want to go out, we can just sit here and watch movies. If I, you know what I mean? It's like kind of getting their own needs met for once, or, just being able, I really feel this energy of a masculine who really wants to be able to just be who they are in relation to someone else, and be loved or appreciated for who they exactly are. And, they may not even put that into words, or they may not even really recognize that that's what they're craving or yearning for. But that's what I feel underneath all of this. It's like, yeah, I can fit in. Yeah, I can be a good provider. Yeah, I can be the prodigal son. Yeah, I can, do all these things. But it's like, I just need this one space, this one spot to fully rest and be at home and be myself and just have that be enough and be loved and be cherished and be cared for. With the feminine energy here, I feel like the feminine, it feels a little bit like this is a feminine that's had to fight for a respect, even possibly, or fight to be heard, fight to be seen, fight to be taken seriously. With a wombat and a panther, you know, I just feel like this is where the nails come out, you know what I mean? Or this is someone who's had to be tough, you know, and had to be resilient and had to make a lot of comebacks and resurrect many times. And but the thing is, this feminine now knows who she is, and she's at home with herself. And when you're at home with yourself and you're at peace with who you are and you're at peace with, you know, how you got here, you know, the suffering, all of it, you know, not just the suffering, but also, you know, the things that you have had to go through to learn, to grow, to expand, to take on, to fight, to battle for your space, to be able to have a voice and to be able to use it. You know, it feels very much like this feminine has kind of earned where she's at, but it may be a little bit hard for this feminine to sort of relax that energy of having to fight for everything or having to protect themselves. We'll dive deeper and we'll see, but it just, you know, when you've had to fight, or you've had to put yourself back together, figure out ways to heal, come back stronger a million times, you know, every time, you know, it's like the Queen of Swords, right? You know, she goes through the entire swords suit. So she's had her heart broken, she's been backstabbed, she's been manipulated, she's been defeated, she's, you know, been deceived. She's had all these things happen to her. And once you get to that queen status, it means that you have mastered all of those levels below you. And either you master them by developing tools of awareness so that you avoid those situations moving forward, which we call discernment when it comes to the Queen of Swords and in life, right? Or you know, and you remain open and you remain capable of love and letting people in, or all of those things kind of make you distrustful and bring you to a place of bitterness where you are very defensive and it's very hard to penetrate those defenses. So I feel like, you know, it could go either way here with the feminine. We'll have to go a little bit deeper here, but the feminine, this be at home card is giving me the impression that there's softness inside. Because, you know, we can't be at home with ourselves when we're so closed off and uptight. Then we have a lot of blockages, and those blockages don't just exist between us and the outside world. They exist us with us as well. We don't just get to block one thing or another thing. Blocks affect everything because we're energetic beings. All right, so let's dive deeper on this masculine energy. So what's happening with Mercury retrograde? What is happening with this masculine energy? Please know that even though I'm calling this masculine and feminine, you can literally trade places, and sometimes the female energy is, or the female person, I guess, is the masculine energy and vice versa. You know, because we all have both within us, divine masculine and divine feminine. And even at different times in our life, sometimes we take on more of a feminine energy and sometimes more of a masculine energy. All right, so we're dealing with someone here. They're having a lot of realizations about themselves, about what they need, about what they want in life, about what they're really looking for. And I feel like they are in a process of sort of opening up. I think this person has kind of come to terms with, you know, it feels like some of their own shadows, this is someone who typically can get in their head a lot. They're a very cerebral, analytical, probably academic type person. They have a lot of anxiety, even if this person hasn't gone through a ton of school or doesn't have a lot. That does not mean that they're not academic. That does not mean that they're not intellectual. Some very, very, very intellectual people, didn't even graduate from high school. So, and even academic people, there are way more ways to learn than just school. So, and I'm getting that here. Like, I'm even getting, for some of you, you may be dealing with someone who's like a tradesman, like builds things with their hands or something. Like, they're very, you have to have a deep understanding of things to be able to build something out of nothing, right? And like, I'm getting like, wood and nails and saws and stuff like that. So I don't know, like, that's clearly not for everyone, but I'm just getting like some type of builder of things, or someone who understands that, like, machinery, or like sort of, like, for me, I just look at that stuff and get kind of overwhelmed by it. That's definitely not my thing. But this is someone who has like a natural affinity for it. They just sort of like, they may even almost see life in terms of that because they're so proficient at it. I'm not really sure, but there's definitely an energy here of someone who leans toward anxiety. And actually this, like, working with their hands, or like some kind of like using their mind to figure out something complicated here, it actually feels like this is helpful to this person to sort of release this energy of anxiety and overthinking. Anxiety is when we get too far in the future. We are really more focused on tomorrow and the day after that and next month and 5 years from now than we are the present moment. And what happens is we get really anxious because a lot can go wrong between today and 5 years from now. A lot can change, a lot can go different, and feeling like you have to control things or keep things in a specific way in order to make them work out that way, in order to get that vision, it is very anxiety inducing, and it does kind of put you in your head in this energy of overthinking. Well, what if this? Well, what if that? And especially if this is someone who figures out the way things work, or, I keep getting like how things work. If there's somebody that's doing that type of work, they may be someone who they're good at that because they have this real intellectual power. Some of you may be dealing with an air sign, or someone very, strong with air in their chart, or even like their Mars and in an air sign. Yeah, it's, I don't know, it's an interesting energy. And so anyway, it's like, it's kind of like this person sort of knows the right thing to do, or they know they're aware of themselves, and they're aware of, I feel like, what they want and what they're sort of trying to work toward here. But there's someone that kind of gets in their own way at times with this energy of overthinking. I think this person also does have some trouble in some ways expressing what they're thinking. It's not that I feel like they can't say it at all, although for some of you that may be the case. This specific energy that I'm picking up on here, it's like they can say it, but it sort of feels like it's, I don't want to say misunderstood, but it's like, I'm just going to use this as an example. When you're someone who's very like air signish, you can be very blunt, or it can come out sometimes without a lot of feeling, even though there's feeling behind it. or you can sort of rush to say something before you fully solidified it in your mind. It's like you know what you mean because it resonates with you, but then when you try to communicate it to someone, it's like it doesn't sound quite the same, and then you can tell that they're not receiving it the way that you're meaning it, but you don't really know how to fix it. And the more you try to fix it, the muddier and murkier it sort of gets, sort of energy. So I don't know, that's not going to be for everyone. So please only in these readings take what resonates and leave the rest. But there's something here where I feel like this person is having some kind of big realizations that I feel like it's actually around this energy of, not really getting a lot of satisfaction out of being everybody's everything. It's kind of like, I don't want to stop being that because a lot of me is wrapped up in that. It's a big part of my identity, or it's a big part of my life, or something like that. But it's also like, that isn't enough. It's not bringing me soul satisfaction. Like on a deeper level, I feel a sense of responsibility or ownership to it, but like also it's not it's just not fulfilling my soul. And this, I feel like, is, at first I feel like it sort of made the person more anxious, and it actually made them more of an overthinker, threw them more into the mental body, because that's the way that they solve problems. That's their innate natural sort of tendency. And so I feel like it threw them in there a little bit more, and it was I feel like there was almost so much going on in someone's head that they really didn't want to talk to anybody. They may have even isolated. Or they may if they didn't isolate, if they were out, they were not having real conversations with people. It may have been centered around like alcohol or something like that, rather than like actually one-on-one conversation type situations. It's like I just get the sense of like the head is so full that like I'm not necessarily present in my body kind of energy. Anyway, this person is having a realization, and I think it is bringing about a transformation. I think in some way this person is kind of coming to this real understanding that they need another dimension to their life, and they may be feeling like this feminine offered it to them, or this feminine was capable of bringing that into their life. There is a sense here with the chameleon facing away from the feminine that they walked away, or that they turned their back on the connection at some point. But whatever this realization is, it is leading to a transformation, and it is leading to this person having a newfound ability to like really open up. You do have apology here, so they may be really thinking about and embracing the idea of coming in and offering some kind of apology. I feel the sense of like, I've really got to make sure the ground is solid underneath my feet before I make any move, like before I add or change anything to my life. I feel like whatever happened here, or whatever it caused with their mental body, it feels like it was a lot, and it kind of threw them off, and like it made it difficult for them to sort of process other things in their life, or sort of be who they were to the people that they felt they needed to be there for. Like it affected them, and I feel like they're like, I need to make sure I'm solid and I'm stable before I can approach this feminine. So I do feel temporarily like right at this moment, and we'll see how the tarot plays out, I feel that there's change happening, and that the results of that change will eventually show up in the material world. But for right now, I feel with this masculine, he's not really making any moves. I feel like he's just sort of, there's a lot going on internally. There's a lot that's happened for them mentally, but yeah, I'll ask, what actions they're going to take. with the tarot in a minute, but the energy that I feel right here, right now, is just sort of like, okay, a lot of change has taken place. A lot is happening. I'm having a lot of realizations. I'm opening up to life, but all of it is making me feel kind of vulnerable, and it's making me feel a little bit shaky. And I'm just going to sort of hang on to the status quo for a minute and really gel with this idea before I take action. This person may also have been someone that took action kind of quickly in the past. And I think that that may have also sort of been detrimental. It may have been part of what brought this connection kind of down in the first place. All right, Spirit, what can you show us about the feminine? Mercury retrograde. All right, the feminine is really embracing a powerful energy here. She may be really connecting with her intuition. Whoops, that's masculine. Yeah, she's manifesting. Pisces, seriously, even this morning when I was meditating before I came to the table, there's this energy of like, this is a very powerful time for you to be manifesting. So by all means, manifest, manifest, manifest. And the more you manifest from your heart, feeling it, the more powerful it will be. Like just coming from you. The universe is in a really ripe place for manifestation, I feel like. Okay, because there's a lot more going on than Mercury retrograde right now. Like I posted that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction until May 7th, I believe it is, where I am. There's a whole lot. There's the eclipses that we just had, but there's a whole lot. But I'm not an astrologer, so I don't really get into that. But I can also feel the energy of the universe. And so can you, probably. All right, so you have powerful chemistry manifesting, or in your reading, the feminine has powerful chemistry manifesting, spiritual upgrade, restless, new chapter, searching, higher self. This is a feminine who's really determined to have a new experience in life. And I think, you know, there may be a feeling of anticipation that something is coming. There may be this feeling of restlessness of like, okay, I'm ready already, you know. And I feel like this feminine definitely feels a very powerful connection, whether this is a new person. Yeah, okay. Whether this is a new person or a past person, they feel a powerful pull to someone or some out there. Like they know, their intuition, that higher self is really telling them, okay, something is coming towards you, you know, something major here. And with the chemistry, it almost feels like there is some kind of magnetic pull, like you're pulling it in, you're drawing it closer. The more comfortable you are in your own skin, the more at home you are with who you are, the more we pull in our soul group or soulmates or people who we are going to connect with on a soul level. And but there's this energy of like, I'm ready already. I'm ready already. I feel like the feminine has been through some type of spiritual upgrade or has been, there's an evolution. Man, all of a sudden, girls, whoo, the feminine, I feel like, is craving physical connection, physical touch. And I feel like she would not admit it, and it's funny because she's coming out as this panther and this wombat spirit, but there is definitely, like, I can feel it. It's like, I'm really ready to physically connect with a person here. Kind of energy. Wow. Okay, but the feminine isn't also just going to compromise for the sake of connecting with someone. The feminine is holding her power. She's holding her space. She's like, you know, I know who I am. I'm not settling. I'm not going to go down a path that is going to in some way weaken me or put me in a position where I have to defend myself or protect myself with this panther and this wombat spirit. Like, I've been through that enough. I'm not choosing that again. But I know something has to be coming, or there's got to be some, either this, a past person's coming back around, or there's a new person that's stepping up to the plate here, because, I can feel it intuitively. I know it. I sense it. All right, so let's look at the connection slightly deeper here. See what we got. Wow. All right, the Twin Flames card is coming out. As you guys know, I don't like words in general. I don't like labels. You know, I was actually listening to Eckhart Tolle, and he was saying, like, how in the world a human being, like, even the sounds that we're capable of making, passing air through our vocal cords, is just it's like, you know, he did a series of sounds that were kind of funny. I don't know why I have such a hang up about singing. Well, I'm first of all, I'm tone deaf, but second of all, like, even just sort of making silly sounds or being silly. There's also, like, in yoga, there's a breath called lion's breath, and it's a really powerful breath, but like, I have a real trouble doing it in front of other people, like releasing whatever that is inside myself that is like, be embarrassed or whatever, even though everyone else in the room is doing it. And in yoga, we don't pay attention to anyone else. It's just us with us on our mats. I don't know what it is, but it's something about sound. So I feel like I can't just do it. But, you know, he was like, making all these sounds, and he was saying, how in the world is it that we think that we could even communicate on a divine level with the tool that we have? And if you watch any or talk to psychic mediums or people who sort of commune with angels, there is, or have had near-death experiences, they will oftentimes talk about these beautiful sounds and singing and stuff that they heard, that it just is otherworldly. It's not anything that like we have here, right? And there's just some part of me that has always known that language is a flaw. It's like, it's one of the restraints of the human spirit. I think we should all speak Sanskrit personally, because it's a vibrational language and it much more appropriately describes the thing, because it's not trying to label it or box it in or call it something. It is the actual expression of the vibration of it. And it's putting that vibration out into the universe, so the universe automatically understands that language, right? So all of that being said, just to talk about twin flames here, I'm not saying that twin flames are not real or that they are real. I don't know, okay? That's the truth. I don't know. Here's what I'm going to say about it. I think it's a very dangerous place to go down, and it's not one that I would recommend. It's not one that I would choose for myself or for my children. And that is how I run this channel, and the things that I say to you are things that I say to myself and to my children and to those people that I love. And so that's why I'm saying this to you. The idea of a twin flame is that there's only one, and that you know, you are the same soul split into two, and that you have to be with that person. Well, let me tell you, with our human mind, our mental body, what you're doing is to yourself by choosing that kind of label for anything, is you are really putting yourself in a position to go down like a path. I mean, think about the Devil card. The Devil card is we're shackled to another thing. Anything that seeks to shackle us, anything that seeks to trap us, anything that seeks to be the only answer for us, those are things that are limiting. And the more limiting things that you put in your life, the more stuck you become, the more limited you become. And life in its most beautiful sense, and the whole experience of being a spiritual being, having a human experience, is actually limitless. And so anything that seeks to limit me, I immediately go, nope, I reject that. And so I'm not telling you what you should believe or what you shouldn't believe, or if it's real or if it isn't real, but this is why I refer to it as a deep soul connection, because we have many soulmates. We don't have just one. It doesn't in any way limit you to that person. It's just acknowledging that we are connected on a deeper level, on a soul level to another person. We may hear their thoughts. We may astral travel and speak to them in our dreams. We may, all of those things I believe are true because I've experienced them. Okay. But when it comes to twin flames, that has not been my experience. And I have just only ever seen it sort of go badly. So, and just in the theory of it. And so also, I feel like even if it is real, the only thing that we can do as human beings to that concept, to that energy, to that whole thing is mess it up and not honor it and not really make it more beautiful. So I leave the twin flame cards in the deck, but for me, it is, and for you, that may matter. And if it does, and if that resonates with your intuition and that resonates with your soul, and you think you're in a twin flame situation, go for it, you know? I'm in no way trying to tread on that or trying to tell you that you're wrong or trying to tell you that it's bad. I'm not in any way, shape, or form. I'm just telling you, this is my reasoning for where I'm at. And my reasoning for everything pretty much that I do, it's my own pillar of consciousness, and I'm just offering that to you, okay? So we have a deep soul connection that has experienced some kind of detour, and it was divine intervention. It was something that happened on purpose, and it may have been, you know, the universe wants us to explore each other, but the universe is love and light, you know what I mean? And it is, we have to be in a place with ourselves where we are ready to love and cherish and honor the person that we're in a relationship with. And when we're not, we have a tendency to disrespect, to break down, to create suffering, to try, but to force and to cling rather than to celebrate and to embrace and lift up higher. And so when we get in that pattern of, you know, of not really, you know, either through our own insecurity, our own unhealed wounds, theirs and yours, or one or the other, or everybody, or whatever, when we cannot come together in a true space of being able to not just love the other, but to love ourselves, then we still have work to do before we're ready to really come together. And so there is this like parting of the ways kind of energy that can happen sometimes, and it can bring us back stronger. It can. It does happen. Sometimes it's, you know, a divine intervention that breaks you apart from someone that you're not meant to be with. So, and then you recharge your own battery, and then you meet someone new, and then and because you've recharged your own battery, you've gotten back to a place of self-care and self-love, and you're in that energy and that vibration of being ready to embrace and accept another person. And then you can come together with someone new. And I can definitely feel here, for some people, this is a new person. And for some people, this is a past person where you have had an opportunity to sort of have your realizations for the masculine and for the feminine, sort of build ourselves back stronger. And so there is this energy of, this was an important cycle. The space in between is often the most important part. You know, everything in the universe has consisted of form and space, right? And sometimes the space is the most important. And so I'm just getting a really heavy emphasis on that, especially when it comes to this relationship. This relationship, whether it's past or new, would not be possible had something in the past not broken apart and we had not had this opportunity, the space to have the realization and to put ourselves back together better than ever, okay? I am going to get some message cards at this juncture. I don't know why, but I felt really guided to grab message cards to go inside with this part. So we'll just see here. Whoa, what comes out? I try to catch them when they go flying, and it's always kind of a mistake. All right, well, there's another confirmation for those of you who are into that. And also, it does also confirm that this is a deep soul connection, all right? You are the one for me. With you, I feel a tornado of love, lust, and desire. I struggle with addiction, okay? I miss you and all your quirks. I want to visit all the places that we daydreamed about. So for some of you, this is a past person, and you know, it could have been that this person's addiction sort of got in the way, or this can also be, you know, addiction can be codependency, it can be toxic relationship tendencies, it can be, you know, being an avoidant, being an anxious person. We have a lot of anxious energy, especially on the masculine side here. So this can be, you know, I had to, you know, kind of look at where that was coming from, or why I would feel those things, or why that was affecting the relationship the way that it was affecting the relationship. And I had to get to the core of it in this time apart. And I did. I mean, because we have realization and transformation here. And I'm not talking about narcissism here, guys. Like, if your person is a narcissist, I highly recommend going to Dr. Ramani on YouTube, Ramani. But, you know, I'm talking about someone who they're a spiritual being having a human experience, and they've had some tough times, and they are still trying to work through how to be the best version of themselves. All right, so let's dive into the masculine's energy here, and let's see what this masculine, what is weighing on this masculine's mind. So what is this masculine, what is weighing heavy on their mind during this Mercury retrograde, please, Spirit? So what is weighing heavy is this masculine is feeling separate from you. This masculine, they're from the feminine. They're feeling a very strong connection, a really strong soul tie here. But they're also, it's like they're feeling the loss. It's on their mind a lot that they're not with this person, or it's kind of, it may not even be in the forefront of their mind, but it may be this like dull, achy thing that exists in the back of their mind all the time of like, well, I'm missing my person, or I'm not with my person, or this feminine. And there is this energy of this feminine. There is an energy where it's like, this person, they may be wondering if the feminine is single. With the 9 here, the 9 of Pentacles, this is a card of someone who is single and stable and solid and attractive. And there, but it's like kind of a double-edged sword, because if someone is single, solid, attractive, you know, has kind of made it for themselves and is really put together, then they are, you know, somebody that's highly sought after. So, but with the Strength card here, you know, this masculine, I think they believe that the connection that they have with the feminine is a very strong connection, just on a soul level. And they're feeling that they're missing this person, but there is some, either it's a question of whether or not this person is single, the feminine is single, or it's, you know, the time is ticking in their head because they know the person is single, and they know that this person is, you know, someone that could be very highly sought after if they were single. I don't know. Whenever there's a 9, and it being in this person's mind, and me knowing that this person is an overthinker and can be anxious, it feels to me that this is stressful to them, this 9 of Pentacles energy. So it's either, are they single or are they not? Or if they are single, you know, there's only a matter of time, you know? All right, let's see what's in their heart space. I'm putting these cards out sideways because these are energies that are changing. Wow. All right. See, this masculine, there is something here where either they felt like they didn't have a lot to give or they were giving to too many places. See, the thing is that the card that's up right here is the King of Wands. This person knows what they want and they really want to take action to go after it. I think that what has caused this person a problem in the past with their heart space is either that they were unsure whether they had enough to give, or they felt that they were giving and not really receiving. Either way, there's something here about this being like a wound that they were healing. So, you know, maybe they felt they didn't have a lot to offer, or maybe there was some type of insecurity here in the heart space of like, you know, I'm not a super emotional person, or I can't reciprocate all of the emotion that this feminine is offering me. And they, with the Four of Swords coming out with it, there's this energy of, you know, when we do our shadow work, we trace our feeling back to its origin, and we look at that origin and we reevaluate it and we reprocess it from the space that we're in now versus the space that we were in when we processed it. And for most people, we processed it, we patched it over as a child with a child's mentality and a child's ability to process things. And that's how we ended up anxious or avoidant, right? Because that's what happens. That's when we develop our attachment style. And this person has done that. They are actively working to heal it and to fix it and to change it. And I think that it is something that is happening as a result of understanding what they want. With the High Priestess on the bottom of the deck, you may be dealing with a Pisces. You may also be dealing with a Leo. You have the Strength card and now the King of Wands. And, you know, you may be the Pisces, I don't know, or there you could have strong Leo in your chart, or they could, maybe even a Leo Venus, or Venus and Leo. But there's just this energy of, you know, having, like, I am connecting with my highest and best self here. I now know, I now understand what was holding me back, and I'm actively sort of working to change it. Once we become aware of something, we have the capacity to change it, and to do different and to choose differently for ourselves. You know, and especially when you're talking about something that is generational or something that happened in childhood and was probably passed on to you from your parents. You know, like, you know, I'm not shy about saying, you know, I do not want to be like my mother. And, you know, sometimes I, you know, because that is my conditioning, because that is the way that I was raised, because that is what I know, because that was normal to me the most of my life, I have had to really work to bring my mindful awareness to every place and space within me that holds that energy, and release it and discover who I am without it, and how I can replace that energy with loving energy. Because I'll tell you, I would rather die than treat my children that way. I would rather die than make my children feel the way that my mother made me feel. I would rather die. I really would. They would be better off without it. You know what I mean? And so, and I don't want to die. So, you know, my opportunity then is to do differently. And so here I go. And, you know, it's not perfect. You know, I'm not perfect. But I am actively trying, and I actively communicate that to my kids. I mean, they know, and they knew my mother well, you know, they know, they experienced her for themselves, and I regret that. But, you know, they know, and they see the change. They see me evolving and acknowledging that there's a better way and looking for it and finding it. And I hope that that shows them that they're always able to make that choice for themselves too. There are things that I've done that they may not like that they can change for themselves. But it begins with our own realization of, wow, do I want to continue that? Do I want that to be my legacy? Because it is my choice. Like, just because that's all I know does not mean that that's what I am I have to bring into my present and my future. Absolutely not. I refuse to accept that. So there is this sense of, with the King of Wands here, I know what I want and I actively want to go for it, you know, with my heart space, but I've got to address this issue so that when I go for it, I'm going for it from the space of my highest and best self. All right. What is this person's intentions with this feminine? What is this masculine's intentions with this feminine? This masculine is not giving up on this connection. And that you got 2 9s here. So you've had 3 9s in the masculine's energy. So this masculine is getting pretty close to wrapping up whatever this cycle is. With the 9 of Wands and the 9 of Cups, this person hasn't released this connection or hasn't released wanting or desiring this connection. With the 9 of Cups, this person knows that they have to work on their own emotional contentment and that they can't force it. They can't fake it. They can't pretend it just because they're feeling some sort of pressure or just because they know what they want and they want to go for it. This person is very measured. And it may come across kind of frustrating because with the 7 of Pentacles, sometimes you get the idea that someone's just sort of like putting it in the hands of destiny and not really worrying about it. Like, well, if it's meant to be, it'll come back around. That's not what I see here. What I see is, you know, this is going to take as long as it's going to take, and I'm not going to rush it. I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to cling to it. I'm not giving up on it. I still desire it, and I'm still working toward it. But I know that until I come to a place where I'm emotionally content, me with me, I'm probably not going to be any good to the feminine. And with the Queen of Cups here, this is this person wanting to be able to love unconditionally, wanting to right this wrong with the 6 of Pentacles in the heart space, wanting to be able to love, reciprocate the love of the feminine. And it feels like this feminine is very loving, very nurturing. So what actions will this masculine take during Mercury retrograde? Wow, there's that apology. 10 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands. And again, High Priestess. So I do feel that a lot of cards of Leo, again, guys, 6 of Wands is a card of Leo. We have this energy of someone who I feel like wants to come in and sincerely express something here. I feel like if this person comes back, there is this energy, or if this person expresses something, it will be coming from a very genuine place in their heart. With this Page of Cups, with what I see in the heart space, with this High Priestess energy here, this person is connecting to their intuition. This person is connecting to the highest, best part of themselves. And I think that is bringing about this ability to maybe try to express themselves in a more accurate way, or you know, it's like for some of you may be dealing with someone who's somewhere on the spectrum. I mean, we're all on the spectrum, right? But I keep getting this feeling of like a little bit of like autism, or like a high functioning autism, or like Asperger's, or maybe even like ADHD when it comes to communication. Every single time it's like someone that doesn't kind of know how to sort of make it all flowery. It's like I just sort of blurt something out, or I'm just saying something or something like that. I don't know what this is, but that's how it feels to me. It's sort of like I used to help this little boy who had Asperger's learn to read, and that's why I keep getting his energy. So I don't know. I don't know what that is, but there is something here where you're really going to feel or sense an effort on this person's part of putting into words something in a way that, you know, there was a lot of effort, there's a lot of heart, there's a lot of genuine energy behind what it is that they're trying to say here. With the 10 of Pentacles energy here, it's like this person really wants to convey to you that they see this as being something worth really investing in, something worth really building, something worth really trying for. And with the 6 of Wands, it's like this person is building up the confidence to really come forward and to really say something. So I can see that for some of you, there may be communication before this Mercury retrograde ends, or possibly during the post-shadow period, which extends 2 weeks after it ends. So the end of, like, the middle of May, I would say, by the middle of May. Now, keep in mind, this is a general reading, so timelines are always very hard to identify. They're different for everyone, right? Okay, so with the feminine in her headspace, Five of Swords, Two of Swords. The feminine isn't really sure what to think. The feminine is having a hard time. Wow. Okay, this is a classic case of someone whose mind is not really wanting to acknowledge the heart, or, okay, no, I said that wrong, so please strike that from the record. There's an energy here of, if this feminine, I feel like, could choose this masculine, and could just have this masculine, and could just love this masculine, and could just make everything work out perfectly, I feel like they would. But there's something here in the mental body where this feminine feels trapped, feels stuck, feels like she can't make this choice. It's not her choice to make with the Two of Swords. And with the Five of Swords, there's this sense of defeat. So it can be also that the feminine feels there is some kind of interference or some kind of outside extenuating circumstance that she is not capable of. It's not her choice, or the choice isn't available to her. You got the Lovers and you've got the Two of Swords. So this is a feminine who's telling herself that, like, it's not up to me. I can't make the choice. I can't, there's something here that prevents it from being in my hands. My hands are tied. Like, if I could, I would, but I can't. All right, in the heart space for this feminine. Man, choice is like heavy with this feminine. Choices. This feminine may be facing a lot of choices right now. There may be a lot on this feminine's, like, or this choice is more than just choosing this connection. So, like, for example, in some cases here, it would mean that this feminine would have to move. You know what I mean? This feminine would have to give something else up that she loves or has invested in the heart space. Might be the only thing that she knows, or maybe it's already something that's over, but it's all that she knows. There's something here. You got the Death card, so there's some kind of ending and a potential rebirth. With the Empress here in the heart space of this feminine, she wants to be able to just create this life that she wants. She wants to just manifest it. She wants to just make it happen for herself. But there's something here with the Death card that it feels like a blockage. It feels like I'd have to let something either go. Oh, what is this? I'm going to clarify the Death card. I honestly feel like it's something that's going to be different for everyone. But with the Two of Wands, there's something about leaving the past behind and moving toward the future and making that choice. And it feels like this is something that is really hard to let this person go. Okay, for some of you, this feminine was married and is divorced and has struggled to... The relationship may have played havoc on this person's sense of self-worth. It doesn't have to be a marriage. It could be a long-term commitment, or this could be something that this person has struggled with their entire life. Like it's a self-worth issue, but it does also feel somewhat tied to a relationship. So this feminine, it's interesting because now we have mirroring energy, right, with that Nine of Cups. So there's, and the Six of Wands. So in this feminine's heart space, there is this energy of, it's almost like feeling like she has never really been able to focus on her own happiness to the place of getting herself to the place of true emotional contentment on her own. It's, you know, like she may have always been in a relationship, or there may have always been expectations, or, you know, she may have grown up in an environment where everything she did was never enough, or was never good enough, or she felt that way about it. And there's something here that this feminine is working through that is a major death and rebirth in her life, in her heart space, in the way that she feels about herself. There is a yearning, again, there's a craving, there's this desire to be able to create the life that she wants, to even be able to like reach into that heart space and sort of just manifest it into existence. And with the Six of Pentacles, this is definitely a relationship that with an equal give and take. This feminine may feel as though she's always been the one to give, and it's never been enough. You know, I feel that energy of MacGyver. Did you guys watch MacGyver, that TV show? I don't know. I think it was like in the 80s, maybe. I remember watching it with my brother. But like, he would get captured by some bad guys, and they would trap him in this room and put like a bomb with a time detonator on it, and like, you know, he would be in this impossible situation. It would go to a commercial break, and we'd come back, and he'd be like taking the gum out of his mouth and like using that with some paper clip around some $100 bills to like jack wire some kind of, or, you know, jack wire. I'm always inventing words. Jerry rig is the word I was looking for. You know, some invention that was going to like somehow miraculously get him out just moments before the bomb went off, right? That's sort of how this energy feels. It's like I have been sort of just keeping it together. I've just been sort of like duct taping myself back together and putting myself back out there. Like I haven't had a chance to just be myself and be happy and just focus on my own emotional contentment and fix this issue with my self-worth. And there is something around this where there is finally this time, or there's finally in this person's heart space, it's like no more, you know, death. It's like I know this has to come to an end. I know that I have to fix this. I know that I can't just keep doing that. That's not gonna work. It's not gonna last forever. It's always been a little bit of a temporary fix, or a, you know, an end game in sight, but I have to completely have victory over this situation. The Six of Wands is like victory after a long battle, or, you know, yeah, it's victory after a long battle. And there is this knowing that inside my heart lies this capacity to have this life that I really want, and to create this life that I believe I deserve, and that I believe I'm capable of having, and experiencing a relationship that is reciprocal and that does give back to me with an equal give and take what I am giving to it. But it is like a major kind of like death and it's a major reset of the heart, really, of what I'm willing to accept, what I'm willing to take, what I'm willing to tell myself. You know, if I've told myself, okay, well, you know, I can stay in this marriage even though I'm unhappy, and even though this person isn't treating me the way that I deserve, I can still stay in it. You know, till what, I don't know, we'll say the kids graduate from high school, like that's what my parents did. And so, but they didn't even make it. I mean, they made it for me and my sister, but not my brother. But the thing is, you know, because oftentimes it's like, you know, you really can't stay in something that isn't resonating with you. The vibration is off, and it's like a constant clashing. And so there's this energy here of ridding myself of those things, of saying, okay, boom, boom, enough is enough. I'm not, this is the end of me ever sacrificing my self-worth or my value, or giving more than I get from a relationship. I'm done with it. It's over. And then there's this rebirth that comes anytime we have death, we have rebirth. That just automatically happens. And so with the Empress energy here and the Six of Pentacles energy here, it's like there's a major transformation in the heart space of this willingness of what I am willing to accept and what I'm not willing to accept. And I'm prioritizing my own emotional contentment, and I will have success and victory. I will not compromise. I will not bend. I will not yield. I will fight until I get there. And so with the Empress and the Six of Pentacles, after you go through something like that, let me tell you, you will not compromise. You will not. And that's what this is, loving yourself. This is what it looks like. This is what it is, right? Because once you love yourself enough to make a decision like that for yourself, you will not compromise it. That is your peace. That is everything to you, and nothing and no one is worth it. Nothing and no one is worth it. And anyone that would ask you to do that or would put you in a position, they're not worth it. The people that really love you and love you unconditionally don't ask you to do that. And so with the Two of Wands, this major change in the heart space of this woman or this feminine energy is denoting, it's marking, it's like, well, that was then and this is now. And back then, that version of me did things like that. Now, this version of me absolutely refuses, I will not. And so there is this huge energy of success. And the universe celebrates these choices. The universe celebrates these decisions. And so that's probably why we're seeing so many energies of choice. We have the Two of Wands, the Two of Swords, the Lover's card. There's just these energies of, once our free will choices begin to support this kind of energy of, loving ourselves and valuing ourselves and prioritizing our own happiness over everything else, what happens is the world starts to change around us. And that's what we see here. It's like, as we treat ourselves, others then must treat us as well. Otherwise, we won't interact with them. We don't engage. So what is the feminine's intentions here? Wow. Empress, Emperor. So we have divine pair. So this feminine is like, I want the person that's worthy of this heart. My intention is to have a new beginning with someone who is worthy of my heart the way that it is now. The reborn heart. With the Magician, this feminine is in her power. This feminine is like, suddenly I recognize that I have all the tools in the world, that I am super strong because I've been able to like MacGyver my heart for all of this time. And that I also had the strength to stop MacGyvering my heart and to start prioritizing my emotions and my emotional contentment. And now I only do the things that I truly, really deeply desire. And with the Magician, it's like, I have all the tools. I was the MacGyver of my own heart. And now I have created a new space and I have reborn. What is it? Like, is it rebirthed my heart? I don't know. But that's what's happened here. Oops, I accidentally took one of these. What happens, guys? The Six of Wands. Wow, look at that. See the mirroring energy. All right, here we go. What actions will the feminine take? Wow, the feminine is releasing anything that stands in her way. This feminine is not jacking around. Yeah, because any misalignment, anytime this feminine is dishonest with her heart, Seven of Swords, Six of Wands coming out sideways with the Five of Wands coming out sideways. So this is like anytime the feminine allows anything external to interfere and to throw her off and to put her in a place where she is misaligned with herself, with her true desires, with her true emotional contentment, with her own sense of peace and harmony and well-being, she regrets it. And with the Knave of Wands, this is someone who's like, I will just continue to move on. I will let go and I will continue to move on of anything that's going to bring this kind of energy to me. I am only going for that which I really truly desire, and that which really truly raises me up. And with the moon card on the bottom of the deck, this action, this mentality is happening even in the subconscious level of the mind, and it is intuitive, and it's deep. It's taking hold in a deep way. All right, gosh, I just looked at the clock. Oh my Lord, this is a very long reading. I go until I go, you guys. All right, here we go. If you're dealing with a water sign, you're getting strictly sexual. This connection is passionate but not enduring. I replay our conversations over and over. This is what this person was probably telling themselves, because anybody that's coming at you strictly sexual isn't replaying your conversations over and over again. So they probably told themselves, they got into it thinking that, and then it turned into something else. I don't want to let you go. Right. Regret. Someone feels remorse for the way they treated you. See, they thought that it was something, and that was something totally different. I don't know what you want. I want you back. And addiction. An addiction is affecting this relationship. Remember, this can be an attachment style, codependency, and it can be an actual addiction, especially with a water sign, tendency toward alcoholism. If you're dealing with a fire sign, you have unavailable. This person is unable to give you all you deserve. I hide my feelings. I need security. Unplug. Working less will help strengthen your relationship. And release. Radical acceptance and surrender can help you let go. Okay. If you are dealing with an earth sign, I compare others to you. My life is not as together as it seems. We will be together again. Denial, detach with love to clearly see the truth. Abundance, you've done the work. Abundance flows to you now, and I can't be with you. You know, I feel like this is someone with that Seven of Pentacles and this I can't be with you. It's just that this person hasn't gotten to the place where they're stable to be getting with you at this moment. All right, if you're dealing with an air sign, I'm starting to understand this connection. Wait, the timing is not quite right. Patience, everything will unfold in divine timing. I will wait for a sign from you. I trusted you. I wonder if you are happy without me. And fate, this is a destined partnership. Pisces, this long reading is what I have for you today, and I really hope that it helps. I hope it brought you guys some peace and clarity. It seems like Mercury retrograde is seriously having a tremendous effect on both people here, or both energies, and you know, we'll see. You know, the stars may align. Who knows? All right, I hope this helps you guys. I'm sending you off with a ton of love and light. Until next time, all my best. Bye-bye, guys.